I'm just here to hold space. I don't know what I have to share later on, but just to hold space and be a part of all this and take a deep, intentional, peaceful pause.
And Jill, I always like to tell people how you left a lasting impression on me because one of the issues I've always had since I became a teacher, had in the past, was that playing small. And I had sent Jill a message inviting her, and she says, "Oh, I saw, I watched one of your replays and you were amazing." I was like, "Oh, no, no." I was giving credit to everybody else. And she said, "Yeah, they did a great job." She says, "But I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you kind of put yourself aside and not take credit." And I was like, "Oh my god, like that made such an impression on me." And I was like, "You're right, I shouldn't do that." And now I don't anymore, thanks to Jill. Thank you, Jill. Had to throw that in there. I'm going to move down on my squares over here to Joanne.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joanne from New Zealand. So I'm in all your future. We're ahead of the whole world here. So we're in the future. I run a little magical space called Pedal Whisperwing, and I've been on Insight Timer for about 7 years, but only a teacher for a year. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place that has transformed my life. It just now is helping me reconnect with others through face yoga, through crystals, through mala beads, and all that. And it's just wonderful to bring herbs and essential oils and crystals to everyday magic. So that's me.
Thank you. Renee, I'm going to move down to you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening or later morning. I'm East Coast, US. I've been teaching on Insight Timer for a year and a half. Time has flown. And I offer psychic readings. I teach workshops for psychic development, intuition development. And I also am an astrologer. So I have a lot of astrology classes, workshops, and content in that area. And yeah, when I saw from Violet that this event was happening, I intuitively knew I should sign up for that. And I cannot tell you like how this year has been transpiring and like even just this week and this day, I'm like, I need that sacred pause. I need to sit, I need to do nothing. I need to just be present, connected with other people because oh yeah, it's really been a time. So I'm really grateful to be here with everyone.
Oh, thank you. I love that. Kevin, Meditation Space Online.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Violet. First off, thank you so much for orchestrating everything and bringing us all here together today once more, as you do so beautifully and so elegantly with your beautiful idea, your space, and also the beautiful background that you have there. It looks you really just have that beautiful vibration of violet. And the wonderful thing
I was gonna
is,
say, I really do my entire house. I mean, my husband had to paint those stairs purple for me.
and the wonderful thing is that we have this opportunity to be together, to just have these moments in peace, to experience it for ourselves, and also to experience it just radiating amongst us and into the whole world, to the whole universe, really, because as that connection is there amongst all of us, the thing is that once we're peaceful and as we're peaceful, then that just is certainly connected everywhere. So thank you so much for this opportunity. It's really great to be here.
Absolutely. Matt, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. My name is Matt Moore. Zizix is how you pronounce the Z. And I love peace and healing frequencies. So if you ever join MySpace, we call it the Omega Healing Matrix. And if you ever join MySpace, it's just kind of this area that we try and create the most peaceful space that you can ever exist in, if possible. I think that's the goal when we show up. So to be something, be part of something like this, I think is so perfect. If you ask me to come anytime, if it's midnight, if it's
Aw.
9 a.m., if it's 6 a.m., and I see the email pop up, I'm gonna show up. So thank you, Violet Alejandro, the hostess with the host with the most, the goatiest. But yeah, I just love. I got peace all around. All of my songs are about peace. You know, I mean, you know. All right, that's all. Peace.
I love that. That makes me so happy. Everybody here is so gracious always. I'll email. There's certain people I email and I never hear from. And there's certain people that always show up. And I appreciate all of you for that so much too. All right. I'm going to let Alejandro take over and you can do your thing and then introduce Dakota. And then Dakota's going to do her thing.
Hey everyone, welcome to the space. So good to be here. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, happy Saturday evening, happy Sunday morning. Those of you that are in the future, thank you all so much for joining us. And thank you, Violet, for allowing us to be here and to hold space together for to really explore what peace is now, right here, today. Not what it was yesterday, not what it will be tomorrow, not what it will be in 3 hours, but what it is now. And hopefully today, as we gather together, we get to not only explore, but also embody and feel peace, whatever that means. And whatever that sounds like, whatever that looks like for us, we are interestingly enough, living in very interesting times in the world. And moments like this are necessary for us to truly unite, regardless of age group, regardless of political status, regardless of anything, just to be one love, one people. And and yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. So good to be here. If you have any questions, any comments, we'll make sure to do our best to keep up with the chat box, but the chat box is always open for you to join us in conversation. So hi, my name is Alejandro. I am a, a wellness and mindfulness coach, and I've been here on Insight Timer for about 4 years now. Um, and my passion is just to create cool spaces for us to be just as we are. We show up, we laugh, we cry, we get angry together, and we explore, and we're human together. So, thank you again for being here, and thank you for holding space with us teachers tonight, today. So, Dakota, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Alejandra. I'm Dakota, and I'm here on Insight Timer. I've been here since 2016, which 10 years. It's a long time to be, long relationship with Insight Timer. And I do sound escapes, sound immersions and meditation. And I'm also a shamanic coach and teacher in Celtic cosmology. I've been doing this work for longer than I'd like to admit and love, love, love what I do. So, and tonight I'm going to open up our space with a slamtation that I've created. And this one's a little bit different than what I've done in the past because it's got two parts to it. And the first part I'm actually going to do live. And then the second part I've recorded it, pre-recorded it. And I want to give a shout out to, or tell you a little backdrop of this particular piece because I had written part of it. I had a pretty good base for the script and what I wanted to do, had a good idea for it. And there was something that was missing, something that needed to be, it just wasn't, it was flat for me. And sat with it for a few days and I realized what I needed was community. And so I reached out to those who are on my community space, Soulfire Collective, and I had 6 people who helped me write this script. And what we did was we had a Google Doc open for a couple of weeks and we just riffed of what peace means to each of us. And then we pulled it all together into a cohesive slam and story. And so I want to give a shout out to Alex and Kate and Sarah J and Sarah M and Susan and Therese who all helped write it. And then we also have some added vocals to the second part, which is Jason and Laura and Nicole. Alex and Sarah and Therese helped me to shape the vocals on the slams. So with that, I would like to have just a moment to, I don't usually do these live, so let me get my background music set up. And Violet, just let me know if the audio is not, you know me. Let me know.
I will.
Okay. Ah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I have never believed in world peace. That sentence has followed me for years like a quiet confession that I was afraid to say out loud, because I live in spaces where candles flicker, where prayers are spoken, where we gather in circles to speak about healing as if it were a destination waiting patiently for our arrival. But peace as I have known it often arrived too early, spoken before truth, offered before healing, placed gently over wounds that were still warm with memory. And I can hear the anger towards this false peace, the way people in power rename control as peace talks, peace treaties, or a declaration of peace. We are told that being quiet will bring calm, when it only brings more chains. Complicity, assimilation, and sameness are placed before us as relief, not peace. I remember hearing it as a child. After Grandpa died, he's at peace now. After I was assaulted, make peace with what happened. After an argument, when I finally spoke my truth, keep the peace. And each time, my body quietly spoke. A tightening, a hesitation, a quiet refusal that I could not yet explain. Peace. 5 letters, curved and gentle, round at the edges, soft in the mouth before they reach the air. A word shaped like comfort, like it learned to cradle before it learned to speak. And we pass it around like a quilt worn thin by the hungry ghost of survival. It's easy to say, but it's harder still to bear witness. And then I say it out loud. I don't believe in world peace. There, I said it. A confession that startles even me, a life spent in candlelight and prayer, yet honesty asks for breath before comfort. And suddenly the room exhales. Peace is not the revolution. It's not the only solution. It's the evolution, the softening of the friction. There's relief in honesty, relief in admitting that what we long for might not be a destination, but a process that we are still learning how to inhabit. I believe in the resilience and community born from adversity, the human spirit's capacity to sing after being choked. I've watched people rise with dirt still on their hands, breath ragged, yet speaking their truth anyway. And I have heard broken voices find melody again, watched strangers lock eyes in the wreckage and decided to stay for one another. And I see so many who feel the tide moving slower than it should. The wave of resistance and persistence, the rise and fall of voices unheard, not waving, drowning. And suddenly, peace becomes less of an idea and more of a practice, less like thin cloth and more like a foundation to build communities of care and connection, to nourish each other, to be at ease in our bodies. Voices braiding until melody holds us, hands passing bread still warm between the palms, knees in the soil, learning the language of roots, breath settling back into bone without bracing. And the question shifts, not what peace is, but how do we recognize it when it flickers between us? A silent cry at a peaceful demonstration, united in grief and anger and in the wanting of a different tomorrow. Peace is the consequence of truth spoken aloud, even when the voice shakes. Someone once told me that peace was gentle, like a peaceful meadow, a quiet tide. But for many of us, peace arrived like worlds colliding, landslips, the earth subsiding, hurricanes and growing pains, and beliefs collapsing, identities unraveling, old stories burning until nothing familiar remained, and it felt less like floating and more like digging my way up from the grave. So if peace is not quiet, if peace is not obedience, if peace is not silence, then what is it? What survives after the storm? Wait. I woke up with the dust of old decrees gritting between my teeth. Didn't just read the headlines. I had to swallow them. Almost choked on the ash of another broken promise. So I laced up my thunder and strapped it to the soles of my feet and marched mercy through the mean streets. I wrote my truth on cardboard and made it a spell, rang it like an iron bell against the walls of hell. And they said, this is how we heal. And I said, call it grace, call it good trouble. But I know healing ain't a single clang. It's a long, low ringing. Peace is not the revolution. Peace is not the only solution. Peace is evolution. Evolution. And peace is not declared by the victor. It is grown in the soil of the rupture.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And I got thunder in my bones, a seismic thrum. They said, hush now, quiet, at home. But my anger was a lever and it moved the stone, kept the sacred spark, claimed it for my own. They want it quiet. I'll give them a low roar. Peace is not the revolution, not the only solution. Peace is what grows after evolution. Peace is not a lightning flash, some neon truce that erases the ash. No, it grows in layers, slow and deep. In the wounds we learn to name without shame, in the truths we carry like a lantern flame. My fire is your fire, is our fire. History ain't just dates, it's the whisper of every name that refused to be forgotten. Peace is the consequence of a body finally free. Not a thing they grant you, it's what we become. It's the truth said loud, even when the voice shakes proud. It's after honesty cracks the cage, after righteous rupture names the rage, after power is dragged onto the stage and accountability refuses to age.
Yeah, that's right.
Peace grows in grief carried long, in anger when it's honored and strong, in the practice and the oath, in the daily bloody choosing both. After the chanting, after the weather, after the whole damn room holds itself together, the question lingers in the space between two heartbeats. What does peace feel like? Inside a body that no longer bends, inside a spine that no longer pretends. I got thunder in my breath, singing stories past their death, promises they buried deep. I still rise. I still keep the holy rhythm alive. Peace is not the revolution, not the only solution. Peace is the breath of evolution. Evolution. Consequence of honesty, of grief held publicly, of anger that won't take the blame, of walking slowly through the unclench the breath, return to silence that is no longer burned at the stake. I got thunder in my heart. It's where the real healing wants to start. Storm and stillness intertwined, wild mercy redefined. It does not flicker neon bright, no flash to take the night. It arrives like breath after weather, storm and soul pulling back together. It is earned. It is a low rolling thunder finally learned. Yes. It is not forgetting the salt skin, the blood, sweat. Peace is the body resting without pretending. Quiet is not avoidance. It is not the silence of violence. It is not the shrinking compliance. It takes courage to feel what is real, to let the shiver finally heal. And thunder was never the enemy. It was the truth searching for a remedy. Peace is not the lightning gone, it's the breath still trembling on. Yes. Still listening, still glistening, peace quickening, body tingling, the bells of freedom jingling, the ancestors standing, witnessing. Take this breath. Take this breath because this is what's left. This is the only truth that survives. Peace. There we have it.
Thank
Space
you.
is open.
Thank you so much for bringing your offering to the space, for giving us new perspectives to think about peace, to feel peace, to embody peace. So thank you. Thank you so much. As someone who has embraced the nuance of what peace feels like versus what it looks like and how we bring that into the world, into existence. I appreciate the call to action. So as we open up the space for you teachers, coaches, guides, I want to ask what does peace today? What does it look like for you personally today? What is the practicality of peace for you beyond the meditation cushion, beyond the silence, beyond the quiet times? What does that look like to you? Anyone, you're more than welcome to unmute and share with us. Or should I start calling you guys out?
I can jump in quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Um,
Renee.
Yeah, I think it's such an incredible question because I think some of the obvious answers are the ones that you listed. But I think for me at this point, it's authenticity of like just being able to fully be embodied, and it's not performative in any way. You're not doing anything for anyone else. Um, being able to like some of what was in the piece that Dakota was sharing, like using your voice, even if it's a whisper and your voice is shaking. So whatever that expression may be. So maybe you're using your words, but maybe that piece is just coming from. And I can say, as someone who teaches intuition, when you are trusting your intuition, when you're trusting your higher self, your gut, when you are energetically aligned, when you are really coming from a place of just pure love and just genuine connection, and the importance of that not only going out but going in as well, like filling your own cup.
I like that. I like the and yes, yes and amen to authenticity, Renee. I like when I have found peace when I am no longer performing what I believe someone else wants me to be,
Mhm.
or how I think they want me to sound. The the stress that it causes to mold myself to what I believe someone else wants me to be is definitely coming back to this is me. This is me now. Might not look or sound like who I was yesterday, and might not look and sound how I want to be today, but this is me. That authenticity brings so much freedom and so much breath. And it's that I am safe because I'm not because I'm safe only in my surroundings, but because I'm safe within because I've accepted this this right here. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Thank you. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Alejandro, for me. Thank you, Dakota, for your words and the music that you played. And I put into the chat that Dakota talked about communities full of care and compassion. I feel like I'm probably, well, I know I'm more fortunate than some in that because of where I live right now, which is San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. It's an incredible community where people are just, they're kind because they're happy. They are compassionate because they're peaceful. It's not always the best of worlds. It doesn't mean that, everybody has a lot of money or perfect health. So for me, my practices, when I look online, when I talk with people in the United States, in different parts of the country, family and friends, I'm like, I feel like sometimes I can't do that much. But I know that my practices are strong. And so here, for example, I step outside of my house and I call it the eye schmeezing. I pass by people and they will look you directly in the eye with the most beautiful, authentic smile, and it's a little squishing of the eyes. I don't speak the language great, but it's this beautiful language of, I see you. Um, I'm not moved to tears often. Like I'm not as emotional as Alejandro. Alejandro, we know, loves to cry, and it's beautiful. I have cried more here because sometimes I simply step off the sidewalk for someone. We have little narrow sidewalks. I step off the sidewalk, and an older lady literally stopped me and made me accept her thank you. As she was passing by, she said, gracias. I was like, de nada, don't worry. She was like, no. And so there's a real, even without speaking the spoken language, can I lend a smile? Can I see someone? Someone shared with me, I met them for the first time after exchanging some emails. And she said, you have no idea what your emails did for me. So she's been having a tough time. She's opening up a business. I don't think I wrote anything special in those emails, but she said it was little things like saying, if you have the time to answer back, when you have the time to fill me in, if this doesn't work for you to meet me Saturday at 2 o'clock, we can do it another time. So my invitation to people is to really look at, who are you in this chaos? How can you be? Can you not add to the chaos? As Dakota said, definitely speak up. We talked about taking up space, but be mindful how you're doing that. And know that it doesn't, again, we can't solve, we can't always have world peace, but within your reach, within your community, within an email, within passing by someone, what is it that you can do? And for me, it's like a genuine smile, a genuine hug, just really seeing someone regardless of language.
There is there's something so excuse me, dare I say ancestral about the ICU, about the thank you, about the opening the door for someone else, not because I have to, but because I want to. Not because it's the right thing to do, but because this is community, and having that moment of community in just seconds, it's so beautiful. So at the risk of sounding a little contrarian, I do believe in world peace because it is that moment, not only between the two souls that see each other, but energetically that ripple effect, because you never know who's watching. That interaction of opening the door, that I know I began open doors because I saw an older mentor do it. So as a kid, as a preteen, I began to open doors. And then a friend of mine in college, I remember him saying, I no longer say you're welcome, I say you're worth it. And I was like, okay, maybe it's the language barrier, maybe because my first language is Spanish, but I don't get it. Like, just like, what does that mean? It's like they are worth it. That person is worth opening that door for. That person is worth doing, picking up that dollar bill for them and giving it to them, or that can at the grocery store that I have people reach for me because I'm short, so that I can't relate to that one. But yeah, it's what when it comes to peace, when it comes to not only when it comes to beyond the meditation cushion, the meditation couch, the meditation time, what does peace look like to you? Who else wants to share? Kevin, Joanne, Sam. Go ahead, Joanne.
I think if I look at it in a more personal manner, that what peace means to me in this very moment is it comes from what I'm going through, and that that peace means it's not everything in my life is solved. um it means I'm learning not to fight myself anymore. That's peace in me at the moment. um Peace allows my heart to feel what it feels, not to judge my feelings. And oh, excuse me. And it just reminds me that, even in those difficult times, I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still walking forward. That's peace. And peace is, to me, right here and now, is giving myself permission to move slowly if I need to heal quietly, slowly if I need to, but just to trust that it's happening. And that gives me peace. But it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it doesn't whack you in the head and say, this is it. It's just you've got to be kind to yourself, and open your heart to hope, and even in my challenging times, and lots of people go through challenging times, if you have peace in your heart, and even if it's just little tiny bits throughout the day, then that light, it's not going to abandon you, it's going to be there forever. So yeah, that's what peace means to me in this very moment.
Love that. It's that acceptance of what is. And I believe it ties to what Renee shares about authenticity. I accept what is, um, and I authentically show up to whatever is happening. We all go through stuff, and life sometimes gets really tough, and life sometimes gets loud, and we cannot meet life with just the quiet time and the meditation cushion. So we arise to that, but in arising in authenticity to that moment, that it brings us the breath. It's, for me, peace is that. For me, peace is, regardless of what is happening within and without, I can still breathe. And in that breath, there's a connection. This is an ancestral connection to everything that has ever been, everything that is, and everything that will forever be. Breath is and has been. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Joanne. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
I liked what you just said, Alejandro, about it being just being there, always being there. And I think that's a really important, if you want to call it peace in all of this, peace, a peace, a Piece in all of the discussion of peace, that similar to gratitude, when we think of gratitude and we think of abundance and all of that together, that rather than focusing on a lack, focusing on what is there and building on that and nurturing that, at the same time recognizing areas that may need to have a little or a lot of improvement or modification. Your what you shared with us, Dakota, was extremely powerful and very, very beautiful. So thank you for that. And what I felt was so incredible was that it was on the one hand intensely personal and also transpersonal. It really reached across so many layers and levels. I could think of myself growing up and being bullied and then going to my parents and them saying, well, we don't want to make a mess. We don't want to make a scene at the school. So I could certainly relate to elements of what you shared with us today, how that impacted on me in my life and of course, working through things as the years went by. But what I feel is so important is when in all of this is, as Renee so beautifully mentioned, the authenticity that is there when it's in there, when it's in each one of us, and when we can share that and communicate that, that really speaks so clearly and so I want to say loudly, but loudly in the silence of the authenticity is certainly the message of peace right there. Also, Jill, just the beautiful way that you expressed in such an elegant, graceful way your sense of accommodation and how impactful that was. It's beautiful what you related to us about that woman who made a point of saying, no, you're gonna receive my gratitude because it really was so important and so authentic to her and it was such a beautiful moment. I can just imagine that. And also to Joanne, what you were saying about trust, it's so beautiful how, yes, that trust has, when it's there, it really does carry that message of peace. And really, what I think is coming out of all of this is that we all have our own unique way of experiencing and expressing peace. And I think one of the things is to just have that kind of internal compass aware of like a gyrometer, whatever that is, that when we feel we're kind of being pulled away from that center, to somehow be able to get back to that point or to reconnect with that, whether it be through speaking our truth or speaking something loudly, or very often just being quiet, not in a suppressed way or in a way that denies our truth, but just in the relevance of the moment, really, and having that sensitivity to know what in this moment, according to everything that I'm picking up or whatever I'm sensing or however I'm placed in this world, um, what is really the relevance of this moment to live that peace, to nurture that peace, and to focus on the fact that it's not that I'm trying to go somewhere to find it or get it, but there is something there to it in whatever degree that is certainly there, just like the gratitude we have for the abundance that we have on whatever level, in whatever way, and to focus on on that abundance rather than on the lack. But certainly taking all that into account, yes, there are certainly situations that can arise that we feel reactive to. And if that pause can be there, and that's where what I've seen in my own life and continue to see is that if we can have that pause, the peace is there, that in that peaceful pause or the pause, the peace is there. They really do, they really are coexistent. And it's so beautiful to see all the different expressions. And also just to say to Matt how wonderful it is to be here with you and just to really appreciate the incredible peace that you radiate and emanate and create for me and for everyone who has the privilege of hearing your beautiful music and all of the beautiful creations that you do. So thank you to Matt so very, very much and to everyone. So Thanks so much, everyone. Really happy to be part of this today. And again, thanks to DeViolet and to everyone who's making this so beautifully possible, and Insight Timer too. Thank you to Insight
absolutely.
Timer.
Speaking of Matt, by the way, Alejandro, I just wanted to remind you that Matt has something he's going to share with us too.
Matt, it's all you now. That was the plan. That was the plan.
Okay,
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Let me know when you need me to cue up your video.
Thank you so much for all of the piece, and Joanne Dakota with that beautiful. Oh my gosh, the energy is off the charts. You get into a trance when you're flowing. I just sit there. I'm like, okay, I'm dancing and I'm moving, but it's so beautiful. Thank you, Renee. Sam, thanks for being here. Jill, I love the. I'm trying to imagine. I think I need to get a video so I can see the eye thing going on, but I can see it in my in my head. And thank you, Meditation Spaces, for the kind words of encouragement. Alejandro and Violet, you two, you're amazing. Of course. Peace to me. I don't know if I necessarily believe in world peace is in. Everyone will be holding hands and singing "Kumbaya" together. All over the Middle East or whatever. But I know I've seen glimpses of peace. Even just when we joined here, I like to call my streams world peace streams, just because we have people from literally all over the planet that join in to say hello to each other, and for those glimpses, those brief moments, we're all just trying to find peace, and we just ignore all the noise and the static that exists. And that's a moment that I love, that we share together in this community. Also today, which is 3.14, that I like to call it the Peace of Pi Day. I look back even just a few years ago, 6 years ago, 2020. This was the day where they announced the shutdown, right? So last night, and they said the 14th, everyone were shutting down the planet, and so everyone kind of went home, and it became, there was lots of uncertainty, and it was very, very quiet, but very loud at the same time, just because everyone just didn't know what was happening. But I remember for a few months, maybe till about June, maybe May, um, when everyone was kind of at their houses trying to find peace in their own way, with the media just going off the charts. I would at night just go walk around, or just maybe take a drive down to all the spaces that were full of people walking around, and all the busy businesses that were closed down, and it was just silence, just dark and silence. All the places that were so busy just months prior were very silent. And after a few months, you can see the grass growing and flowers growing in the street. And all the animals were just floating around in the streets, and they were taking over the planet. They were taking their planet back, and it was the oxygen levels had changed, the pollution levels had changed. The wars had magically kind of suppressed a little bit, just because everyone's focus was pandemic at the time. So at the time I said, wow, did we just kind of achieve world peace accidentally here in this moment? And it was just a strange moment in my life. I remember just sitting there and going, wow, the only thing really stopping us from creating world peace is us, is just us. And so maybe we got to make some bigger moves, or something, but we can find it. It's there. So hi, thank you for having me. I love being here in these streams. A little something different today. I usually do piano stuff, or singing stuff. But one of my good friends, a teacher here, Nicole Baptiste, saw one of my posts. Um, my streams, we call them peace freaks, like peace frequencies, and they're just frequencies. I'll take like a frequency that is relevant to the day. Like today would be 3.14, and we'll run through that frequency. Um, but when I call out everyone and give shout outs, I'll just say hello, peace freaks. And Nicole Baptiste, who is a teacher here, saw that and said, "You inspired me for this thing." And so she wrote this thing down, and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." And I was like, "You know what? Like, this could be a thing. This could be a song. It could be a something. It could be something." And she's like, "Yeah, okay. Well, I got bars, And I was like, "This is really cool. It would be amazing if you actually did it because it's you. This is your idea. It came from you. It's not, it's not me. If you could send me something, that would be fantastic." And literally a couple hours later, she just sent me a vocal, and I said, "Oh, this is amazing." And it was just very chill. It was, her energy, which is just very relaxed. And so I said, "Cool." I grabbed it, did some, chopped up some stuff, and we were calling it the Peace Freak Anthem. And Violet, you got it over there?
I do. And by the way, Matt, people were saying your voice was a little low.
Oh no!
I could hear you, but a couple of people said that it was a little low. So I just wanted to point that
How
out.
about now? Am I still low?
It sounds about the same to me. How's everyone out there hearing? Blossom says it's softer over there.
Oh, well, I'm done talking. So
Monica says it sounds good. I know I didn't want to interrupt you. I was like, well, let me
I'm
wait till
good.
he gets
No
a
one
little.
heard my speech. It's like Forrest
I
Gump,
heard
and
your
that's all I have
entire
to say about that.
speech. I heard every word, and it wasn't
Basically,
everybody. It was
the whole
just.
gist of it was this. If you missed it, I'll put it in a PowerPoint presentation later.
There you go. Without further ado, I am going to play this video. And let me know when I play it if everyone can hear it. Okay.
I'm a freak. I'm a vibe. I'm flying high. You're a freak. You're a vibe. Let us all fly high. I'm a freak. I'm a vibe. I'm flying high. You're a freak. You're a freak. You're a vibe. Let us all fly high.
So cool, so awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Violet, for putting that up for us. Um, it's probably gonna be stuck in my head for the next few days. Someone had said in the comments that they wanted it as their alarm clock. Um, um, oh, so good, so good. Hey, Matt, question. Is your piano hooked up? It is. It is awesome. So just as we continue to move on through through today's session, I want us to just pause. We've discussed what peace looks like for us as teachers. I know in the comments you guys have had amazing conversation on what peace looks like for you, what it feels like. Um, I know Gabby had said peace is surrender. And that word surrender has so much nuance in our nervous system. So as we continue to hold space today, I want us to just pause for a few moments, for a few breaths, and simply be. Just be right here, right now. Be all that you are, with all your thoughts, with all your feelings, with everything you're holding. And the invitation is for us to surrender to the moment, to surrender to the breath. And as we surrender, we allow the wind of joy, of peace, of love to help us fly high into a frequency of unity, a frequency that knows no bounds. And we allow ourselves to come into the secret place, the sacredness of peace, of quiet together, not as individuals, but as one, regardless of age, race, nationality, ethnicity, just as people, remembering that we're all doing the best we can with what we have. And in this pause, we're able to see each other beyond actions, beyond habits, just as humans. Understanding that peace is not the absence of problems, it's not the absence of chaos. It's that quiet space within. It's that in-between moment. So for the next few moments, allow yourself to be, to pause, to breathe. Notice your breath, the steady rhythm of the inhale and the exhale, knowing that your breath has been with you every moment, every step of the way, through joy, through difficulty, through change, through steadiness. And in this moment, it is here again, inviting you back to yourself. Thoughts may come and go, and that's okay. So, welcome back to the space. Hopefully, you were able to fly high. Hopefully, you were able to breathe and reconnect with your breath. And just remember, you're in control of your time. You can always pause. You can always breathe. The breath is yours to have. So, for the next maybe minute or so, just here in the quiet, allow yourself to be again, to simply be. For some of us, silence is uncomfortable, and that's okay. And see what arises. And when we come back, we'll discuss. So, who is wanting to share in the chat box or here, teachers, what has come up for you in the past few moments of pause, of quiet? Hmm. Yeah, Joanne, I'm reading your comment. Absolutely. Joanne shared. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply pause and breathe together. Absolutely. Mhm. Sophia shares. I can really feel you guys in America. And that's the magic, if we could use a word, of moments like this. Hundreds of us together in one accord, in unity. There is power in that. There is frequency that travels. So, absolutely, absolutely. Dakota.
I appreciate this space tremendously. I think that it's wonderful that we can have a space where we can come together from different corners of the world and share our feelings, thoughts, all of those things, and for Insight Timer to be a hub for these kind of connections. And I feel like peace is one of those things that and is deeply personal, like most things are, that we have so many aspects to one simple concept word. It's been sung about, has been written about, has poems about it, it's been fought for, it's been laid down our lives for, etc. And yet it still seems so fleeting and momentary when we do get those glimpses of it. And I think if, the words to the slam that I shared earlier and my sentiment that I don't believe in world peace is more from the premise that I walk a shamanic life, and to me, good and bad are equal. If I don't have the friction in my life, I won't know what peace is when it comes. And it took me a long time to come to peace with that, to play on the word. And I feel like there's, I teach on the medicine wheel, and it's those moments that we get to sit in the middle of the wheel and feel the fruits of all of our labor and see how the work that we've done on ourselves brings us to a place of balance. And while it's nice to be there, you can sure as bet if you're breathing, you're going to have that apple cart turned upside down again so that you can go through that spiral one more time and go through the friction and come back to the center again. And I watched a TV show recently, Pluribus, and for anybody who's seen that will know what I'm talking about. It's kind of disturbing because it goes on the other premise that we all have this unanimity and that we're connected in thought form and telepathy and all of those things, and everything feels very peaceful, but you lose your autonomy in that process. And so I feel like while there's a lot of discussions about peace, it's also coming to peace with not having peace in a lot of different places in our life, and so many things that feel out of control. And somebody said earlier in the chat that you can't have world peace until you have peace within. And there's so many rabbit holes we can go down in that one statement right there. It's like, but if we find the peace within ourselves, it's influenced by the external environment always. And so there's always this push pull relationship with how we navigate through this world and how we work with the energy that's been thrown at us, whether it's been deliberate or not. And these kind of conversations, I feel like, really need to be had because there's so many things just in vocabulary and energy that when we take it at flippant value to say something to someone, not realizing the impact that it has, whether it's good or bad. And like opening up the door. Was it Jill that said that? I forget now, but it was somebody opening up the door for somebody, and it seems so simple, and we don't know how what we do will land for somebody else. And I think that part of navigating the peace within is really understanding how you influence others and how you're influenced by others and environments. And quite honestly, I don't think a lot of people know who they are to the greatest depth that they can. Part of that's by design. Part of it is because we've numbed out. And I know for myself that I feel really a lot more numb than I did last year. And so it's coming to a place of also peace with that. And for a while I beat myself up. It's like, okay, I'm having another Oreo cookie, or I'm watching another show of Rookie, or I'm numbing out in some way, and then being okay with that, like saying, okay, it's okay to check out once in a while, just not check out all the time. And so it's really going back to what somebody said earlier. It is really figuring out who we are as an individual and how that resonates in the world around us. What is our, and going back to frequency Matt was singing about, is what is your frequency, and how is that, is it really yours? And I'll just leave it at that. I just think that there's a lot of questions that we ask in the darkness of our own soul that we don't always say out loud. And in the spiritual communities, especially, the tougher conversations seem to be harder to have because people like to live in the love and light, which is nice. It's great. It's not reality all the time. Certainly isn't reality in Minnesota when people are being murdered. But at the same time, there's such a collection of community that's happening in Minnesota that is so beautiful. And it's hard not to see that with the other. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing. I also have seen some donations in the chat box. So thank you so much for your donations. Your donations in this space go to beautiful, beautiful animal shelters. So if you can and you feel called to do so, please donate. If you hear my cat, she's also in agreement. She is very vocal today. So your donations go straight to foster and animal shelters. So thank you again. Thank you for your generosity. Those who have donated. Anyone else here in this space? Beautiful conversation. Hello to everyone. Welcome to the space. If you join us after our introductions, we're here just being ourselves and fostering and holding space for peace. If you hear the train, I am so sorry, but the train is passing by. They're also in agreement with us. Anyone else here who wants to come in and share whatever has come up for you,
I like what
not only as
I
an
like.
individual, but as a teacher. Go ahead, Violet.
As I say, I like what Jill put in the chat there about checking to see whose frequency are we in. She was also asking in the other chat, like how everyone felt in the silence. And one of the things I said is that it makes me realize when I take these moments of silence, how much noise I'm always subjecting myself to. Like I never have everything off in the house. There's always music, a podcast, Insight Timer. It's almost like I don't want to even be alone with my thoughts. And when I am, I'm like, that's kind of nice. I forget what that's like. Definitely changes your whole vibe.
Absolutely. I am one who works with music constantly. So I'm constantly writing, creating content and whatnot. And I am constantly, there's always music. And in my quiet time, my purposeful, sorry, quiet time, it's really interesting to allow myself to sort of detox from the noise. So yeah, I hear you, Violet.
I wonder if that's from growing up, Alejandro. My mother was always playing Spanish music. Maybe that's why I can't be in silence.
It must be a Hispanic thing, must be a Puerto Rican thing.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I was late.
It's all right, Sam. You actually made us very happy to those of us who are a little bit OCD with the squares. You made it an even
Yeah.
9. So
Sam,
it,
right
it,
before you
it
got
brought-
here, my biggest fear was that
Okay.
we'd be short a square. And then when you weren't here, we were. And when I saw you in the chat, I was like, wait a minute, you can still come? Where are you?
Yeah, sorry about that. There's a
That's
few
okay.
things I need to deal with at home, but I'm here now. You know, this conversation about peace, I love Matt's sessions because they're always about peace, and I always find so much peace in his sessions. I actually wrote a song the other day about losing innocence, which was right after Matt's session, and I've shared it with him, and I think he's going to be singing a couple of verses on it. But my work is always based on finding our inner stillness. You know, the world is constantly in motion. We're moving through periods of tension and transformation, you know, but beneath all that movement, there's that quiet awareness inside, and the noise that this world is constantly hitting us with makes it really easy to just miss that still small voice inside, is what I call it. It's an actual protocol I do with my soundful experience when I offer it out in yoga centers around town. And there's something really powerful about the collective stillness. When we sat in stillness, Alejandro, before, for that minute, I went deep very, very quickly. And within a few moments, I felt the collective energy also dropping in deep. And I saw the chat on Inside Timer slow down, like everything stopped, everyone stopped. So these sessions make for some deep connection and deep moments within us that are difficult to find at times in this noisy world. So I just wanted to say thank you, and maybe I can play a piece that is based in our heart. Shall I do that now? Yeah? Okay.
Absolutely.
Might be nice just to place one hand on your heart and just gently breathe into that space. There's binaural beats, isochronic tones, solfeggio frequencies playing in the background. And I'll just play on top of that with a beautiful sampled set that I've got. gently drop into some silence. Spend a few moments in stillness. Hmm. It's always so beautiful sharing the joy of creating these soundscapes. Not one is ever the same because they're created together. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Sam.
so much, Sam.
Thank you for
Thank you for
sharing.
sharing. Thank you for
Inviting us
inviting us
into that
into
world
that world of
of peace, of quiet.
peace, of quiet.
It's
It's
really
really,
awesome.
really awesome.
I think we have an
I think
echo.
we have an echo.
Let it be me. It's gone now.
Was it me? No, yes.
Yeah, but you're good
Awesome.
now. You're good.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. So, as we bring, as we begin to close this session together, I guess my invitation question is, I guess the question is, what is your personal commitment to pause as you continue throughout this week? Those of us who are already on Sunday, those of us who are going to enter into Sunday soon, who are still in Saturday night. What is your commitment to, what does that sound like to you? I guess what I'm looking is for ideas. How can I pause as the day goes by, as the week goes by? How can I, in the midst of everything that is happening in the world, in the midst of everything that is happening in our personal lives, how can we pause? How can we make time, make room for peace throughout our day, throughout our lives? Not all of you at the same time, teachers. Go ahead, Matt.
Can you hear me now?
Very, very low.
Very low. Still very low, very low, very low. Hello?
I think that's a little better. How's everybody else
What?
hearing?
Oh, they got me.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Well, just very briefly, I will say, one of my mantras that I have, that I do is every single morning, the first thing I do before I open up my eyes, before I check my phone, before I use the bathroom, before I do anything while I'm in my bed, the first thing that I do is I just say, peace. I just start my day out with peace. And I know if I started with peace, then it has nowhere else to go but peaceful for the rest of the day. So every single day, that is how my day starts. If you're ever around me when I wake up, you know that nothing happens till I say peace.
Love that, setting an intention for the day. Once the intention is set, it's set. And regardless of what happens, peace can be and it will be. Someone in the comment, I don't remember who, I apologize. Um, but someone in the comments earlier, maybe 30 minutes ago, had mentioned the power of choice, of choosing to pause, of choosing to react or face whatever is happening. But there's the power of it, of choosing. So I like that, Matt. I like that. Um, there's a choice, there's a conscious choice to choose peace in the beginning of your day. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Someone in the comments, oh, Dakota shares, time in nature always brings me home to myself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who else?
Alejandro,
Go ahead,
Alejandro,
Jill.
I was going to add, this is Jill for people listening. I was just about to say this, and one of our listeners, Tarn, said they have an alarm set on their phone for 3 times a day to remind them to pause and to check in. And I was going to add just some of the practical. Again, I'm lucky. I'm retired. I don't have kids. I don't have a dog to take care of. And I think sometimes those of us that teach and guide that have maybe a quieter life, for example, I am always trying to stay conscious that for some people, peace, taking a pause is a luxury. I have people that say, I can only attend half of a yoga nidra session, or, um, that they set the timer for the Insight Timer lives that we all have, and then something comes up with one of their kids or something happens in their household. So I would say for those of you that don't have as much luxury of time, that you have a lot more going on, you're in the midst of community chaos, world chaos, chaos within your homes, just do what you can. I've had people ask me to be their accountability partners. So they'll say, Jill, do you have time and space 3 times a day to send me a message, literally to breathe? The other day, I asked my niece, I said, if there's one way that you want to feel for 5 minutes today, what is that? And she actually picked the word pause. So over the next couple of days, I was like, hey, no pressure, but are you pausing? So whether it's a reminder set on your clock, set on your phone, if it's someone else that, really cares about you that will tap in gently, asking you, did you drink water today? Did you take a pause? Can you sit still for a moment? Can you, simple things like if you're driving to an appointment, can you take 30 seconds before you open the door of your car? Maybe letting a phone ring 3 times before you pick it up and taking a pause in between emails. So for the community that's listening, all of us, I think, or most of us would probably agree that we know that you're busy. We know that you don't always have time to be here on a live or to take a listen for an hour to our offerings. But think about even just the really accessible things that you can do. The other thing I would offer before I stop is think of either your most favorite things that you do in a day, or the very practical ritual things like you probably drink a glass of water, you probably open a door, you go to pick up your house keys. Tie your picking up your house keys or turning on your car to a pause. So again, it doesn't mean you have to roll out your mat. It doesn't mean that you have to put your hands in a certain mantra. You don't have to burn incense. Just tie it to something that's accessible for you. Tie it to something that you'll do, or ask somebody in your community to remind you of that pause. And then sometimes too, asking for feedback. For me, I know when I have a practice that really changes me, I'm more likely to do it. And sometimes when we rush through those pauses, you're just like, okay, I paused, so what? give yourself feedback, see if you felt different, and that's likely to build more of that habit. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Go
was
ahead, Violet.
I was going to say I saw Brandon wrote in the chat pause when agitated or doubtful, and that I find has been like the most helpful thing for me lately because I never used to do that. I would just get agitated and I would spiral. And now when I catch myself, I'm like, just pause, just take a breath. It's okay. This is going to pass, and that has been huge. So I love that Brandon put that in the chat. Just pause. Just pause.
Absolutely. If you if you follow me in other social media platforms, I am very vocal
Oh yeah.
about current events, especially about things. I'm from Puerto Rico, so I've been very vocal about things in Puerto Rico now with baseball going on, all of these things. One of the things that helps me in in it's that it's the pause. It's I'm gonna type something, but let me reread it. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of reggaeton. Those of you who are familiar, and I have found myself like hyped by some of the old reggaeton, and I'm like, okay, let me change the song. Let me see what. So, but ultimately, for me, my for someone who is busy, who has other commitments, who is always on the go, 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 my shower time. We talked about this last time, and I am not going to get into the details like we did last time. Um, Matt, Matt was here last time, but my shower time, I used it a lot to brainstorm, and I've decided to take a few moments under the shower to just be, to simply, and sometimes it's a conscious choice of as the water flows through me, just letting it go, just letting it go. I might put on some rain sounds so I feel like I'm in the rainforest back home.
Yeah.
Um, Turn off the light, just put on a little lamp, just for those 5 minutes that I am able to shower. That's the way I sometimes, there's some days that's all I can do because I have another meeting or because I have another call or I have to go to this facility or this here, there, whatever. And all I have is the 5 minutes I get to shower. Um, so so yeah, sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that's enough. It's it's not always about the 31-hour silence on your meditation cushion.
Yeah.
Some of us, like Jill said, it's a luxury for some of us sometimes. Sometimes it's what changing that diaper, that gratitude. I don't have to, I get to. How we're framing what we're doing, it's a privilege to serve. I know sometimes I'm like, I know I have this commitment and I don't want to do it, but I get to. I get to show up. And on my way, instead of putting that true crime podcast that's gonna hype me up or dysregulate me, I play something else. So who else? Who else has some?
Getting back to the shower theme, because that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
I, thanks to Insight Timer, maybe a year and a half ago, got into the habit of every day when I go into the shower, I let go of anything that might have annoyed me. I actually run through it in my head as the water's hitting me, like, okay, this bothered me. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. And then I scoop up everything that's great. I'm grateful for the day. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful that, my husband came home in a good mood. Anything that I can think of. And that little process for me has also been life-changing. And Alejandro, as you know, all my good ideas come up in the shower anyway. That's why we're all here on Ask Your Guides, because that was a shower idea. But yeah, that's a big one for me. I love the shower topic. I can never get enough of that one.
I am guilty of sometimes spending too much time in the shower because I start to brainstorm and I tell my phone and I said, hey, the Apple thing, record this, and I start recording so my, just shameless plug, my track from Religious Trauma was a recording. It became a blog, but it was a recording that happened in the shower.
Wow.
I had been triggered by something I had seen online having to do with religion, and I started meditating on my own experience with religion. And I was in the shower, and I was in the process of, you know what, this is bothering me. I let it go, and I started meditating on my own experience. And I said, hey, I'm not gonna say it because it'll activate
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And I started recording. So what you hear came up. The initial part of it came up in the shower. So shower time is really important for me too.
I think I'd spend like 2 hours in the shower every single time if I did that, but that's okay. Um, I do
With
have
all
my
your
phone.
electronics.
Tell me about it, my phone, and it's like, but I know
It
it's
wouldn't surprise me.
uh I know it's so simple, but for me, whenever I see myself getting all caught up, I just stop and gently take 2 or 3 breaths, and it just drops me into a silent place. I know it's so simple, and oh, yeah. Um, but it's amazing how many people don't do that. Just forget to breathe because
Mhm.
as we get caught up, the breath gets all tight, the chest gets tight, and we find ourselves not breathing. So just a simple, short 3 breaths just drop you into some silence. That's all.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know Kevin, Kevin is a master of silence. I think one of the reasons I'm so drawn to Kevin's lives is because he can sit in silence longer than anybody I've ever met. And I find that so comforting. And sometimes I'll listen, I might be doing something else and I'm listening to the silence because I just find it so comforting. Kevin is Meditation Space Online, by the way, for those of you who are like, what is she talking about?
It's practice. It's I know when I first discovered meditation through yoga, it was I was like, this is impossible. If you know me, you know I love to talk. But if I outwardly talk a lot, you can only imagine what's going on within. It is a constant conversation. So the practice of pause, it took months, years to be able to sit and allow quiet and be comfortable. I think a lot of us, I'll speak for myself. For me, I was not comfortable with silence because silence would reveal the truth of what was going on within. And I know earlier we spoke about numbing and we spoke about distraction, and my own thoughts were my best distraction instead of dealing with what was happening, which is a topic for a different life, a different Ask Your Guides. But I invite you, if you're like me, where I've been, where quiet is not it's not comfortable, I invite you to ask yourself why. Why is it that I feel uncomfortable in the quietness, in the silent place? And write it down. Not as a judgment piece, but as an exploration piece. And that's how we get to know ourselves better. But if quietness is a goal of yours, um, but it seems unattainable right now, maybe ask yourself why. And hopefully that helps. I know Kevin is like Violet said, the probably the mastermind of quiet um in the group. But yeah, anyone else want to share, Joanne?
I think I love your shower because I I often stand in the shower and close my eyes and put my hands out and let the water come onto my hands. And I imagine in my mind's eye that those are the angels dancing on my hands. And that then is just like sort of, and then I can breathe, I can feel like I can breathe again. And so then all through my house, I choose to pause, one breath and one moment of stillness. And that's just little sticky notes in the places that I go to often. And it's just stop and pause. So, yeah, yeah, I love the shower story.
You can go ahead and share that poem if you want, Joanne.
Yeah, I can if you want.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I've got it here somewhere. And 2-6. 2-6.
And I love that. I know my mom is in the chat and she just wrote it, but I love the imagery of the angels dancing.
Angel.
I
Yeah.
know for me, again, for me, the shower is my upper room, if to call it something. It's my sacred space. It's always been since I was a preteen, and my most um profound spiritual experiences have been in the shower,
Yeah.
while in the shower. So maybe we need to do a live just on shower meditations or something. Who knows? None of us is going to be in the shower, just so you know. Matt, I see you. I know you're laughing because our conversation last time. But go ahead, Joanne. Share with us your poem.
I after our last piece gathering together, I wrote an acrostic poem. So the P is for presence, and so that's pause for a moment and breathe in the quiet. Peace begins in the stillness between thoughts, where the heart remembers it is already enough. The E is for empathy. Extend your spirit toward another soul. Even the smallest kindness ripples outward, touching lives we may never see. And acceptance is for the A. Allow the world to be as it is today. And with that surrender, a doorway opens where healing can begin. The C is for compassion. Carry tenderness in your words and actions. Compassion is a lantern in the dark, guiding weary hearts back toward warmth. And the E is equanimity. Embrace the calm at the center of being, even when the storms gather. The soul can remain steady like a quiet lake at dawn. And then I ended it with, for the whole world. May peace live in every heart, flow through every home, and travel across mountains and oceans until all people remember we belong to one human family. So may gentleness replace fear, may understanding soften anger, and may love be the language spoken everywhere on earth. Peace. Pause.
And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Joanne,
beautiful.
Matt asked if this piece poem is online somewhere.
No, it's not. I can put it on Substack if you want.
Put it wherever you want.
Yeah, I can put it there.
No, I mean really, so we can hear it.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
I would love if we had your voice, the whole package of you sharing. That's something I would definitely share on my streams. 1000%. I love it. Thank you. It's beautiful.
Okay, I will see.
Make a
what I can
track.
do.
Make a track.
Make a
Yeah.
track. Yeah. Yeah.
Not you all giving Joanne homework. Love that. So Joanne, you got homework. We'll be waiting for the track. Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So as we begin to now bring our session to a close, I want to invite you teachers to let us know what's going on with you here on Insight Timer. Any sessions, any new tracks. Make it quickly because we have like 10 minutes left. So
And Matt is going live in an hour and 12 minutes. I popped up that card.
yes. Oh, yes. Cool. Is that it, Matt? Is that Matt is like, yep, got it. Cool. So Matt will be live in an hour. So if you are starting your day, start your day with Matt. If you're going to bed, go to bed with Matt. By that I mean listening to Matt. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm not inviting anyone to your bed. But what else? What else is going on? What else you guys
Everyone's
and
invited
ladies?
as long as they're peaceful.
Great. What else is going on Jill.
Alejandro, I have a session tomorrow, and I'm only mentioning it because I'm thinking if maybe everybody can line up 7, 8 days of peace. So you get Matt coming up. I have a Yoga Nidra session tomorrow. Saying it tomorrow for most people, so Sunday or Monday, depending on where you're at. Does anybody have anything going on Monday or Tuesday?
And Jill, I was prepared. I had your card up.
Yeah, I have a class on Monday. I'm doing week ahead readings. So I normally will do them on Insight Timer, so people can come and I will do forecasting. So I'll be using Oracle cards and channeling for the week ahead.
And there's that card as well.
I've got a session tomorrow morning, my time, which is tonight, your time. I think Sunday night, your time. And I'll be exploring the loss of innocence, which is kind of a heavy subject, but also really beautiful. So that'll be a soundful experience that we go through process, meditation.
And I did pop up that card. That's 10 p.m. Eastern time for me. And I will be there.
Oh my goodness, we all have lives tomorrow.
Different times.
Different time zones, but yeah, mine is a face yoga one tomorrow morning, and that is a time to pause.
And yours is 4 p.m. my time.
Who else? What about you, Kevin? What you got going on?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
And there's Kevin's card.
Thank you. Sunday night I'll be here, Eastern time, and also Monday night as well this week. And as some of you know, I tend to schedule my live events over the weekend time, and any time from Thursday night Eastern time to Monday night Eastern time. So, and the time is usually these days is the same, but it can vary depending on my schedule. So, yes. Everyone is warmly invited, certainly. And by the way, Jill, I just wanted to really appreciate all the wonderful practical things that you brought in what you were saying just a little while ago, that just where the rubber really hitting the road, so to speak. And the things that you said were really, really helpful and very beautiful. And also Sam, beautiful, beautiful track you played. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. And I don't have a live until Saturday. So my last installment on our series on inner child healing, living from a place of inner safety, is next Saturday. Next Saturday morning.
Did you schedule that one? Because that card did not come up for me.
How dare they? Yeah, it's scheduled. It's been scheduled for like 2 months now. No, it's fine. Follow me. Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Alejandro. That's it. ALEJANDRO.
And I want to point out that all of the teachers that are with us, their links will appear in the link in my teacher's profile. And they're also listed in the description of the video replay, which will be available as soon as we are done tonight. The links are already there now. Actually, you can see them in the description.
Awesome. Anyways, well, again, thank you all so much for being here. Remember, if you feel called to do so, you can always donate. The donations on these lives, they go to beautiful, beautiful creatures, beautiful animals in animal shelters. I know last time we raised a nice some funds for the animal shelter. So again, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all the teachers. Thank you, Dakota. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Sam, Joanne, Kevin, Jill, Renee. Thank you for your offerings. Thank you for holding space with us.
And Dakota has a closing for us too.
Well, and I also have a live coming up in 2 weeks on the 26th at 3 p.m. So if you would like to go into an immersive experience, I do have that happening on the 26th. I don't know if you have the card for
I
that.
do not have the. How come I don't? I'm looking here. Some of them did not come up for me, so I just assumed people had not scheduled all of their lives, but no, did not come up.
Well, like Alejandra, just follow me on Insight Timer if you're not already, and come join me for the fun. Are you ready
Again,
for the closing song?
absolutely. Again, thank you all so much for being here. We will now close with Dakota, and we will see you all next time. Thank you so much for holding space with us. Thank you so much for not only exploring but embodying peace with us, and to all the teachers, thank you for saying yes to the call to teach, to guide so many of us in our own journey. So as I always say, thank you all who are here present for allowing us to be part of your journey, but also thank you for being part of our journey. You showing up allow us to exercise our yes to the call to teach, to guide, and to live a life that hopefully in whatever we do, we can make the world a better place, and we can continue to encourage ourselves and those around us to live from a place of wholeness, a place of healing, understanding that even though the world may be chaotic, peace is always attainable. We can always pause, we can always breathe because the breath is always with us. So, again, thank you all so much for being here, and take it away, Dakota.
You can hear it, right?
I woke up with the dust of old decrees gritting in my teeth like broken pottery. I swallowed down the headlines whole, let the ash settle in my soul, but something in my chest began to grow. So I laced my boots with thunder, strapped it to my feet, march mercy through the mean streets, march mercy through the mean streets. Peace is not the lightning flash, not the true sign in the ash. It's the soil after the fire, it's the breath after the choir. Peace is not declared, it's grown with the cracks the truth has known. They said hush that storm at home, keep your thunder in your bones. But my anger moved the stone, kept the sacred spark my own. Every ancestor who whispered through the smoke said the quiet ones are the ones who choke. Peace is not the revolution, not the only solution. It's the breathing after battle, it's the way the crops still rattle in the wind that carries names through the whispering flames. What does peace feel like inside a body that no longer bends? Inside a spine that doesn't pretend. It feels like a fist unclenching slow, a silence letting go, a shiver finally warm after the storm. I got thunder in my heart where the healing wants to start. Storm and stillness intertwined, wild mercy redefined. Peace is not the war's end, it's a hand you choose to extend. It's the breath that still survives, it's the truth that stays alive. Thunder was never the enemy, it was truth finding remedy. Peace is not the lightning
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much. Remember, you're loved, you're supported, you're always, always enough. We'll see you all next time.
See you next time. And if you're on that other side, we're going to keep talking over there for a little bit. Bye bye. Okay. We're still on YouTube,
The after show.
the after show.
This is peaceful boss after dark.
Exactly.
And no one is going to be doing shower sessions, Matt, if you're still here.
I think he left because he's got a live in an hour. Oh, no,
There
he's
he is.
there. There
here.
he is. Okay.
He's here. He's here. Hi, Matt.
Yeah,
Hi.
no, amazing.
No.
I love the shower session idea. I am 100% in, and that's where you can find peace. That the whole metaphor of the rain and the raindrops and the rain, let it rain.
Right.
That is right in my alley. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should do an Ask Your Guides shower edition. Who's volunteering?
Dakota,
Y'all are-
drop some beats. I know Sam is right there in the
Maybe
rainforest with
Sparkle.
his music.
I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. But thank you all so much. I want to say I appreciate you. Time
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
And we'll see you in an hour too.
Have a good live session.
Yes, soon, mate.
No, I'll be shower adjacent. I won't be in the shower.
You know,
Best art-
they've got these great bathhouses here where, we can all go together
Right.
and shower together and do a meditation under the showers together in the bathhouse.
I think it's a great
Isn't that
idea.
cool? Hey,
Planet.
in my world, bathhouses are not for not not for meditating. Just saying. I mean, it can be a meditative experience, but I'm gonna stop talking because this is being recorded still. For more on that, go to my Substack. Well, no, just kidding. Just kidding. I don't. I've actually, speaking of more experiences with having to do with healing and whatnot, I'm thinking about writing a book on my my experiences, bathhouse included, and how that's part of just my healing journey, and how that has been the fruit of years of allowing myself to love myself and to accept myself. So anyways, just wanted to say that, just because,
I think that's a good idea.
but
Yeah.
we'll see. With the brainstorming has happened. I have a friend who told me to buy children's like crayons that they can write on the shower walls, or markers that are erasable, because like I brainstorm and I used to have like pen and paper and my journal would get wet. But all that in the shower anyways, but whatever.
Someone also
Now I use
told me
my
they
phone.
have these notes that you can take in the shower that are waterproof, and you can like hang them in the shower and write on them. I haven't purchased them, but that's another thought.
Nice.
that's a really good idea.
Nice.
I can leave a message for my daughter to clean up the shower after she's finished and then erase it.
Get your hair, clean up your hair,
That one.
please. Anyways, I have it's 9 p.m. here, and I have a commitment at 10, so I have to bow down. I have to go.
Okay.
So, but thank you everyone for being here. Kevin, it was nice seeing you. Haven't seen you in a while. Sam, Joanne, Renee, Jill. Jill is like auntie, by the way, for me. So just so you all know, Jill has this. When Violet shared about your experience with Jill, like, hey, like, yes, and like, yes, they're great, but also Jill has always been so encouraging for me to push myself to go further.
TED Talk, your
I love
TED
TED
Talk.
Talk.
I love
So
that.
I have to. So I didn't get approved last year. I have to reapply this year, but they sent me the link. So they want me to this time. They want me to reapply. So it sounds like a good and on the topic we're live. It doesn't matter. It's on decolonizing mindfulness. So we'll get there. So thank you everyone.
Time for you.
I will see you all next time.
Bye,
Peace,
Alejandro.
love, rock and roll.
Thank you for emceeing.
Always the best.
Hoda and Sam, thank you for your music. Matt's already gone. Violet, thank you for taking this on, and I love that you keep letting it grow. Like you never say it's too much or I can't. We know that you're the, so what do they call you? Obi-Wan?
The OBS Kenobi I've become.
Yeah. Doing, learning everything that you need to do and managing everything you need to do
Thank
to
you.
bring us together. So thank you.
Thank you. It brings me a lot of joy. You know, I love what I do here. And like I tell people, I'm very lucky that I have a job totally separate from this, that I'm able to put whatever time and effort I want into what I do on Insight Timer, and I love it.
Shows for sure.
We love it too.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm also going to have to roll along here. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Violet.
Thank you,
It's
Kevin.
been really wonderful. Beautiful creations, Dakota. Thank you so much. And Sam as well. Just everyone's participation was really, 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 really beautiful. It's so wonderful to see the uniqueness and the link and the joint that which joins us all together. So thanks everyone so very much.
Thank you.
Your
Namaste.
share too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm off.
You're
Love
off
you
too.
all.
You're gonna leave it all for the girls.
Yeah. I'll be watching. I'm gonna jump on YouTube and watch the rest of this.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Violet. Thank you, Jill.
You're very
Renee,
welcome. Thank you for joining.
Joanna, Dakota. I won't be late next time.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
I'm
Bye,
glad you
everyone.
were on.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something in
I
the
was wishing
chat.
for headphones, and I was like, no, I'm going to join your live, and I'll put the headphones on them. But it was amazing.
Wow. With the headphones on it, I loved it. It was
Yeah,
incredible.
it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sam.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye. I'm off too
Me
because
too.
the bathroom is calling.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Thank you all so much. I'm going to go as well.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.